Imagine controlling a drone not with your hands, not even with your voice, but just with your thoughts. No clicking buttons, no touch screens, no commands. Just a spark in your brain and the machine responds. Sound like science fiction? Welcome to the present. This isn't a pitch for the next Black Mirror season. This is the beginning of something real, tangible, already happening. And you're about to find out why it matters more than you think. Let's take a step back. Just a few years ago, this kind of stuff felt like wild imagination. Neural interfaces were reserved for science fiction books, elite research labs, and the occasional Elon Musk tweet. But now, it's hitting the surface and it's hitting fast. So to all the crypto chasers, AI believers, and tech dreamers out there. If you re-obsess with what is next, if you lie awake at night wondering where the edge of innovation really is, this one is for you. Because what if the most valuable asset in the next decade isn't your cash, your crypto, or your data, but your brain itself? We're entering the age of brain-computer interfaces, BCIs, where machines don't just respond to us. They listen to us directly, without speech, without motion. Just raw brainwave activity turned into digital commands. Now here's where it gets real. Researchers are already using IG sensors to monitor electrical activity in your brain. That activity is converted live into instructions. Want the drone to go left? Think about it. Want it to hover? Picture it. No joystick, no typing, just pure, unfiltered intent. It's like giving your thoughts a direct line to reality. You think, the machine acts, let that sink in. And this isn't a distant dream. This isn't a someday concept. We've already seen it work. In 2023, a research team at the University of Technology, Sydney stunned the world. They held live demo students flying drones using nothing but their minds. No hands, no tricks, just concentration and signal decoding. Watching it felt like a glitch in the matrix, but it was real. And it's not just the universities. Military research programs like DARPA are going all in. We're talking billions of dollars being funneled into tech that reads your brainwaves and turns them into battlefield assets. Silent commands, instant decisions, zero delay. It's the holy grail of command and control systems, and governments are racing to claim it. Because here's the truth. When governments start throwing cash at mind-reading machines, you know it's no longer a fringe fantasy. This is the kind of tech that rewrites how power works, how control works, and who gets to wield it. Now pause for a second and think, what happens when this tech leaves the lab and enters your living room? When it's not researchers and soldiers using it, but gamers, content creators, stock traders, crypto nerds? What happens when brainwaves become the new keyboard? BCI-powered drones could transform entire industries. Imagine managing a fleet of delivery drones with your mind. No dashboard, no manual, just you and your thoughts directing the swarm. Or controlling agricultural drones to scan and treat massive farmlands without ever lifting a finger. And here's a wild one. Imagine crypto mining farms powered by neural interfaces. You think in the bot trades, you visualize the chart, and the system responds. Bots linked directly to your intent, no lag, no filter, just pure decision-making at the speed of thought. Your brain isn't just a biological organ anymore. It's a control panel, a command center, an interface between you and everything else. But hold on, before we fly too high, let's bring it back to Earth for a second. Because every piece of revolutionary tech brings with it a whole new category of risk, of discomfort, of unintended consequences. Like what happens if you get distracted. You're flying a drone, and suddenly you start daydreaming about pizza. Does the drone just spiral off into a tree? Or worse, what if someone learns to manipulate your thoughts? What if hackers don't go after your passwords but after your mental impulses? And yeah, there's a joke in there somewhere. You ever try piloting a drone while thinking about your ex? Good luck keeping it in the air. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Because the next episode, that's where things get darker, deeper, and way more unpredictable. Because this tech isn't just about innovate. And the next segment, we're diving straight into that reality. Let's go back to that drone, silently hovering in the sky. You're controlling it with your mind, no friction, no delay, just raw intent in motion. It feels powerful, right? But here's the twist. That same power, it cuts both ways. Because the moment your thoughts become data, someone, somewhere, will try to collect them. Let's not kid ourselves. Every tech revolution has two faces. The dream and the danger. And with BCIs, the danger isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, deeply personal. See, when a system can decode your thoughts, it doesn't just know what you do. It starts to understand who you are, your patterns, your fears, your impulses, your emotional triggers. Now imagine that system is being run by an advertiser, or a government, or a rogue corporation. That's not just invasive, it's unprecedented. Because your brain, up till now, has been the final frontier of privacy. You could lie with your mouth. You could mask your body language, but your thoughts, untouched, unseen, until now. And we're already seeing how slippery that slope is. In 2024, early prototypes of emotion-sensitive headsets started rolling out for gaming. If the system sensed you were bored, it changed the level. If you felt scared, it doubled down. Cool, right? But here's the issue: who else had access to those emotional spikes? Was it just the game? Or were those signals stored, analyzed, repackaged? That's the true dark side of BCI-powered tech. It's not about control, it's about consent, and we're not even close to figuring that part out. Picture this. You're wearing a BCI headset in your smart home. You think about something stressful: your boss, a breakup, a fear you haven't spoken aloud. Your smart assistant notices a pattern, alerts your fridge, changes your music, sends you a mental health notification. Helpful, maybe, creepy. And what if that same signal was read by your insurance company, or your employer, or a government system scanning for subversive mental patterns? It sounds dystopian because it is. And it's not 50 years away, it's a decade, maybe less. You ever try lying to your boss with a mind-reading drone hovering overhead? That future's coming faster than you think. And yet, here's the kicker. Even with the risks, the money keeps flowing. Because Neurotech is red hot in the investment world. Neuralink, Emotive, Kernel, OpenChither, no longer niche. They're the next Silicon Valley gold rush. And it's not just about hardware. Software companies are building ecosystems around thought data. Imagine thought analytics becoming a service. Imagine marketing agencies hiring neural strategists. Imagine cognitive influencers who don't post but project. In early 2025, a startup demoed a brain-to-brain communication app. Two users, wearing BCI gear, sent messages to each other without typing, speaking, or gesturing, just pure mental exchange. And that is when it hit the public. We're not just talking to machines anymore. We're learning to talk through them, which opens up a terrifying possibility. What happens when someone else can inject thoughts into your brain? Mind control. Not metaphorical, literal. We're already testing it in rats and insects. Controlled navigation, implanted memory pathways. It's real, and we're just one neural leap away from seeing it scale. Now imagine you're wearing your sleek new BCI glasses. You're flying your cryptomining drone fleet with your mind, and someone somewhere slips in a rogue command, a foreign impulse, something that wasn't yours, but felt like it was. Do you even notice, or do you just act? See, the brain doesn't always question where a signal came from. It just responds. That's what makes this tech so exciting and so dangerous. We are on the edge of a new kind of cybersecurity, a battlefield not of firewalls and passwords, but of thought patterns and attention maps. And right now, nobody's ready for that fight. But before we spiral too far into the dystopia, let's talk about the other side of this coin. Because while the risks are real, so is the potential. What if this technology could liberate people with disabilities? What if paralyzed individuals could regain mobility, expression, autonomy through brain-controlled machines? What if artists could sculpt ideas directly into virtual space, bypassing language altogether? What if traders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries could amplify decisions? That's not just speculation. That's the blueprint. And if the next chapter in human evolution is about merging with machines, then BCIs aren't optional. They're inevitable. But who gets to write the rules? That's what we're diving into next. It's 2030, you wake up, no alarm needed. Your smart home read your brainwave patterns before you even opened your eyes. The drone outside is already in motion, coffee on the way. Your trading dashboard is pulsing. Ethereum just dipped and recovered in the same breath. Your neural wallet sensed your reaction and auto-executed the perfect button. You didn't touch a thing, you just thought. Sounds efficient, right? Beautifully seamless. But under that smooth surface, a trade-off most people won't even notice until it's too late. Because when your thoughts drive action, your impulses drive outcomes. And that means whoever controls your impulses controls you. This is where the dream starts to warp. See, when thought becomes interface, the brain stops being a private sanctuary. It becomes infrastructure. Like bandwidth, like energy, like a resource to be optimized, monitored, and maybe manipulated. That's the real future we're walking into. Not just a smart world, but a mind-aware world. And once the environment reacts to your thoughts, the next logical step is ... influencing them. Already neuromarketing firms are developing subtle ways to prime emotions through scent, sound, and neural feedback. But BCI tech, it goes further. Imagine personalized ads beamed straight into your cognitive stream, not on a screen but as an internal voice. Imagine scrolling social media not with your fingers, but with your mood. And then ask, how do you know what thoughts are truly yours? Here's where things get serious. Military-grade BCI systems aren't just being developed to interpret commands. They're being tested for mind-to-machine two-mind networks, hive-mind combat units, silent, instant team coordination, cognitive war rooms where generals don't bark orders, they broadcast intent. It's efficient, it's fast, and it changes the entire playbook of modern warfare. But what happens when those systems become commercial? When corporations start syncing teams for productivity? When your workplace headset doesn't just monitor your thoughts, it starts correcting them? And what happens when the line between human and system disappears altogether? Already AI is being trained to predict user decisions based on neural data. It doesn't just wait for your command, it preempts it. In other words, the drone doesn't wait for it go left, it just goes, and you're left wondering if it moved because you thought it, or because it expected you to think it. It's subtle, it's quiet, but it's the beginning of something profound. Agency, a slow erosion of free will, masked by convenience. Bhutan, this is a big but. This doesn't have to be a tech horror story, because the same tools that threaten autonomy can also empower it. BCI tech, if democratized and protected, could help amplify human cognition to historic levels. It could unlock creativity we've never seen. It could give voice to the voiceless, motion to the immobile, command to the ignored, and when paired with blockchain, the potential grows. Decentralized data protection, neural firewalls, thought trust protocols. Yes, these things are being discussed. The fusion of crypto and neurotech could be the very defense system we need, but it requires a new kind of literacy, a new kind of discipline. Because in a world where attention is currency and thought is power, the most dangerous thing is not knowing how to control your own mind. So the next time you hear mind-controlled drone, don't just think sci-fi, because in the future that's coming, thought is the new battlefield. And the most powerful people won't be the ones who shout the loudest, but the ones who think the clearest. That's why awareness isn't optional. It's survival. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of the curve. But there's more. A lot more. Check out our next video. Can we boost intelligence using brain chips? And dive deeper into the future of neurotech, AI, and human evil. If you had full neural control of a drone, what's the wildest way you'd use it? The most insane idea gets pinned. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, because in the world ahead, every thought counts. And trust me, you'll want to be the one doing the thinking.